So you don't charm the devil with your rock and roll load. Knows that country music's gonna save your soul. The devil finds his groove in them rhythm and blues that sing. It's gonna get you sun in the air.
Welcome back to the Speakeasy. This is another special Boomerang edition, this time live from beautiful, sunny Anaheim, California. I'm here at Strongwater with Ying Chang, who is the fleet commander here. Ying, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me and coming to sunny Anaheim.
I think this is my first time I've talked to a lot of brewers, distillers, bartenders, mixologists, a bouncer or two. This is my first time talking to a fleet commander. What does that entail?
Basically, I command the entire crew. So I'm in charge of the bar program here. I'm in charge of the leadership team here. Just basically anything operations based, I have my hands on. So I'm very involved.
Well, it's a very involved place that you have here, and I'm excited to talk about it. But first, part of this Boomerang series that we do is getting to know the culture and kind of the flavor of some places. And I'm particularly interested by places that are not off the beaten path necessarily, but aren't your New Yorks, your LAs, your Las Vegases. And to me, as an uneducated East Coaster, I always kind of think of Anaheim as like the little brother of Los Angeles. And you're making a face that tells me I'm wrong, but I want to know exactly how wrong I am.
Well, oftentimes we do get bundled up with Los Angeles, and then we do kind of get clumped up with San Diego as well. So Orange County in general, not even just specifically Anaheim, doesn't really get nice representation. So it's really great that you're here and chatting with me and, trying to educate people on Anaheim. It's not just Disneyland. There's much more than that.
Well, you promised me free rum, so how can I turn that down? Right?
You can't turn that down.
So beyond Disneyland, beyond the Angels and the Ducks, what is Anaheim to you? What's kind of the flavor of this place, do you think?
I mean, there's so much diversity here. There's so much to do. We have lots of people coming in from around the world, not only to, go to Disneyland or come in for a convention, but to really enjoy all of the different cultural foods and cocktails that are going on here. And I think that may be shocking for a lot of people because they think, oh, Los Angeles is where it's at or San Diego, but Orange County has such a huge food and cocktail scene that it often gets overlooked.
Keeping with the sort of like little brother vibe, now I'm getting kind of a Malcolm in the Middle vibe. Off of Anaheim, in between San Diego and Los Angeles. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is. It is very accurate.
You mentioned that it's a very diverse place and there's a lot of interesting things that are going on here that you would, that a lot of people, it sounds like, unfairly ascribe to LA or San Diego or places like that.
Sure.
What are some things in the environment around you that you see that really kind of inspire you and really pique your interest?
Orange County in general has all these little amazing places to eat at. You have like Little Saigon, you have Little Arabia, you have, even in Anaheim, we have the Packing District, which is the old Sunkist building where they package and ship Sunkist oranges. It's a little over 100 years. It's actually where Robert and I, my business partner, had our first start. So we opened a small little speakeasy there, and then fast forward, we opened Strongwater a few years after that. But in that particular space at the Sunkist building, which is called the Packing District, there are 30 concepts under one roof. So you can imbibe, you can also enjoy Thai food, you can grab some hot pot, you can grab some Mexican food, and there's so many different things to do just within one space, and even grab dessert on your way out, right? It's that one-stop shop. And that's outside of Disneyland and downtown Disney, and no one really knows about that. I mean, now, yes, it's been there for 10 years, but it's still popping every single day, and we're just 2 blocks away from that, right? We're really trying to create this cocktail culture here, and not in a negative way. Anaheim's kind of a beer wasteland. There's so much beer here, but it has
there's so much beer everywhere.
Yes, I know.
This country has too many breweries. I'm going to come out and say it.
You're right. But it's great to have that synergy, right? Head to that brewery, but also head to that cocktail bar, and that's kind of what Robert and I have been trying to do in Anaheim for the past over 10 years.
Talk to me about how that's manifested in this place in Strongwater, because we're here in what I believe is the captain's quarters of the bar. Talk to me a little bit about what's out there, what's in here, where this back bar comes from, because I heard that's an interesting story. Give me a little rundown.
Yeah, Strongwater came about when we did this really fun pop-up event at our old little speakeasy called Mahalo Mondays, because we thought, we want to celebrate another spirit that was heavily like whiskey based, and we're like, what's what's the next spirit that we're going to do? What's the next concept we're going to open? Everybody was going to their Tiki Tuesdays. And we're like, we really want people to come. And we transformed this little speakeasy into this tropical paradise. Little did we know that rum was so popular. And we booked out within 15 minutes. So we it was wild. But we ran this for 4 years. Every quarter. So we had basically curated this, not thinking about it then, a menu for Strongwater already. And with that, the idea of Strongwater is our love letter to Don Beach and our love letter to Tiki, what Don would be really proud of if he were alive today, right? So we're trying to bring back that elegancy in terms of like going out for a really nice dinner and dressing up, having a great time, but also having really great exotic rum cocktails with a beautiful environment and great hospitality at the same time. So when you walk into Strongwater, you're supposed to feel like you're walking into the hull of a sunken ship, wrecked and abandoned. You'll see that it's been capsized, and you'll see that everything within our space has been upcycled. So we like to say it's like design on a budget, but we found everything, either estate sales, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, your random Goodwills, and we collected and curated for about 3 or 4 years before we opened our space.
Okay, that makes sense, because when you say everything, there's like, this is not a sparse room that we're in. There's a lot of everything to encompass here. So I was a little bit skeptical when you said everything comes off of like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, but if it was a 3 or 4 year project, I get it now.
Yes. So our garages were bursting. Our storage unit had way too many things. And, I think for us it was like, we hope this really fits. Like we had this storyboard and vision of how we wanted things to look like. And then once we started building out, which took, over a year to kind of put everything in the space and get everything approved, it just kind of worked. It fits. It's homey.
It does. And the thing I like about it is that, like you said, it does pay homage to the sort of lovingly over the top nature of those kind of the classic tiki bars without having a lot of kind of the ickier elements of classic tiki. And I like that there's been a reinvention there that doesn't feel forced in any way, but just feels like it naturally fits this place.
Well, we have nuances. You'll see a tiki here and there, but it's not heavily tiki, right? We have a little blowfish in the corner. We have a water element, which is our little zombie grotto that you'll see in kind of like the main part of the wreckage.
I just love that you refer to your bar as the wreckage.
The wreckage.
Like, that's just so. It tells me
so
that it's such
theme.
a well thought out concept. Yeah, exactly. That even in your mind, it's a ship first and it's a bar second.
It really is, because it's about immersion, and we really saw that when the world shut down. So I was briefly telling you that we opened a few months before the pandemic, and once we reopened our doors back after our whole Cocktail to Go program, everyone's trying to survive. We noticed that people just wanted to escape, and we obviously didn't make this concept knowing that the world was going to shut down. But people were just looking to just not be at home or not be outside and really just be transported. So I think this is a nice little safe haven for a lot of people that venture here.
How does that kind of fit into the broader Anaheim character that we're discussing here? It's like you said, it's an escape. It's kind of an oasis. What has that been like fitting that particular puzzle piece into the community here?
I think Anaheim there's been a lot of, to me, since we've been here for about 10 years, people love that storytelling aspect. And I think that goes a lot hand in hand with Disneyland. We'll get a lot of people that come in and ask us, oh, did a Disney Imagineer design this? And we're like, oh my God, this is so flattering. But no, I mean, this is our curation, right? So what we really wanted to do when we opened our second concept was that we really wanted to tell this beautiful story in whatever manner we did it. We wanted people to feel like they were a part of that, from the cocktail program, from the food, and from that just warm hospitality coming through. So I think it fits Anaheim and what Anaheim is doing here. I mean, Disneyland is all about storytelling, right? And in all the rides and everything they do and the different themed areas. And when people are kind of venturing out, they typically don't want to leave Disneyland and or downtown, right? It's quote like too far, or that there's so much to do here already. So when we give people that opportunity to like come into our downtown Anaheim area and to really experience that like small nightlife that we have here, or actually big nightlife, they're like, oh wow, there's so much more than just this, right? Than that staple of, I'm just going to go to an Angels game. I'm just going to go see a concert. There's so much more outside of that too. And I think we definitely fit that category of like, I don't want to do anything mainstream. I want to do something really unique.
I could see that with the sort of stereotypes that I've heard about Anaheim, is that it's a place that you go to and then leave.
Yes.
It's like
exactly.
you go there for this thing and then you get the hell out so you can sleep in your own bed somewhere else miles away. And so I like the idea that you're creating a space that people kind of want to, I want to linger in here. It feels
Yes.
very nice. It feels very, maybe soothing is the wrong word, but there is something that's just kind of like very lived in about this space that feels wonderful.
I mean, tiki is all about layers, right? So we're constantly adding into the space, whether we find, little knickknacks that, or make it on our own. Like Robert made this little like chandelier light right over here. We just made it in our garage in our house and lacquered it and gave it some color. But it's a nice little piece into the space, right? Whenever we travel, we're constantly adding to the space as well. So it's just about all the little stories that you can tell when you come aboard.
I was trying to put my finger on what it reminds me of, and this might be too artsy fartsy, so maybe I'll edit this out. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll keep it in. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it reminds me of this exhibit at the LACMA, which is supposed to kind of give you the feeling of like being in a relative's garage in the summertime when you're like 9 years old.
Okay.
And there's just something that's very comforting about being around objects that feel like they are in their second act.
Sure.
Sure. About being around things that feel like they're not going to surprise you. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to do anything but live a satisfactory life beside you as you also kind of like bask in their presence. And that's kind of the vibe that I get off of this room.
I mean, everything has a story here, like from the back bar and the captain's quarters. We upcycled everything. So our main dining room, our booths are all king and queen size beds that we've made into booths. Yes. And all the tables are like really old library style tables that it has a leaf right in the middle, and they all end up folding out and they're larger. However, they're really difficult to find, right? These are things that people have been holding on for like years, and they're finally ready to get rid of it. And it has a story as well. We've had a lot of people that have personal feelings to these objects, and I completely understand why. It's their mothers or their grandmas or their grandpas, right? So here at Toronto Water, we try to upcycle everything. Our back bar in the captain's quarters is an old 4-post bed. So we thought, it's such beautiful wood. I mean, it's going to be so expensive to buy. So we hit it with some lacquer. We stained it. We we sprayed some gold over it, and it just really looks beautiful. It just kind of fits into the space.
I'm also just now noticing the mountain of skulls, which is metal as hell. So I enjoy that up there too.
We did it for our Mahalloween that we typically do every October.
Fruit. Why have I not heard that before? Well done on you.
Thank you. It is the month that sells out the quickest. I had not realized people loved Halloween so much. So you know what? I really want to open a Haunted Mansion Halloween bar. I feel like there's legs for that.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes,
trust
definitely,
me.
Yeah.
So you obviously have put a lot of heart and soul and time and blood and sweat and tears into building this place, and yet you are going to be taking this show on the road in a few weeks, months. You've got some pop-ups coming up, including to your neighbors upstairs at Thunderbolt in LA, which is one of my OG faves. So tell me about the Strong Water on tour that you have coming up.
Well, first of all, like we were talking about earlier, not a lot of people come into Anaheim for that cocktail culture. So my idea this year was to bring bar teams out into our space so they can experience Strong Water and the cocktail culture out here. However, we are doing a pop-up at Thunderbolt on July 7th. And we'll be there for a few hours and, just making it into this really fun tropical paradise, bringing our tiki mugs, our glassware, and seeing our LA community kind of come out for us. I know oftentimes they're like, it's too far, Ying. Orange County's too far. And I'm like, I know, I get it. But we're going to be in LA. So people are really excited. With that, though, we have Tiki Mirage, which is, Thunderbolt's concept as well. They're popping up in front of our new concept called Double X. So they'll have a little spot right in front of there, and they'll be here for that same weekend.
Well, that's an awesome segue. Tell me a little bit about Double Luck. That's something else that's coming up on the radar, right?
Yes, it is. Hopefully open by the end of summer or early fall, given the city doesn't give us too hard of a time on the build.
I always take every opening day of a new restaurant with just a pillar of salt.
Yes,
just a mountain, like one of those big things that you see with the snow plows that salt the roads. Much salt for opening dates that people, because there are so many variables and so many things are out of your control. But
There are so many variables.
Fingers crossed for you that it's a smooth process from here on out.
Yes. I mean, okay. Yeah. So Double Luck is going to be right between the packing district as well as Strongwater. So it's kind of right in the middle. It's supposed to serve our local community, as well as, the craft community, because there's a lot of bars that close so early now. After 2020, a lot of people close their doors around 9 or 10, and it's really hard to get a really nice cocktail after 10 p.m. We're kind of one of the later people to be open, but I'd much rather send people over to Double Luck that's going to be open till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Hell yeah.
That's going to serve like not heavy appetizers, but like lots of options for appetizers, lots of little bites. But within that bar, Robert and I love bar inception. So we're doing a small Amari bar within the larger bar. So it's going to be really educational. It'll be fun. It'll be all Amari based cocktails in that small room.
That's how many seats?
That main small bar will have 4 seats, and it'll have like a little lounge right behind it that will ideally fit like 6 additional people. So it's very intimate.
Wow, a 10-seat Amaro bar. I wonder if I know anyone who might enjoy something like that.
Oh, inspired by. I think Orange County is finally ready for something like this, right? You have an Amari bar in Los Angeles. I believe there's one in San Diego as well. And, I think we're ready.
It sounds like you have been embraced by the community here. It sounds like you're popping every single night here. You had some buyouts recently, like last night and tonight. So
yes,
again, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
But it sounds like this has really been embraced. It sounds like your theory of the case was correct, that Anaheim was ready for something like this, and that this also is a great fit for the particular character of this neighborhood.
Yes, we oftentimes get the question of, Ying, what's the theme of Double Luck? And I almost look at them like, well, there's not really going to be a theme. It's going to be a vibe. You're going to feel like living room hospitality when you walk in, right? Belly up to the bar, grab a drink, go find a seat. You don't have to have reservations. We check your IDs at the front. It's not this big old deal, right? Where you have to reserve, which is hard here sometimes. We book 2 to 3 weeks in advance, and you can't just belly up to the bar to grab a Mai Tai or a navel grog, right? So I think people are really going to enjoy that.
I agree. And I also am just fascinated by sociological trends, and especially since we seem to be in the kind of post-cocktail neoclassical revolution era of like what's going to be the next big thing, because we had the hyper serious bartender era, and then we had one where we kind of tried to take the hyper serious bartender and put him in an Aloha shirt, and like that, like it didn't quite jive.
Yeah.
But now I really think I'm talking to a lot of people who have always kind of been like, my ideal bar is when we can get a great cocktail, but also it feels like a living room. Like maybe there's a pool table, maybe for your first drink you can get like a 6-touch cocktail, and for your second drink you want a Miller High Life, and both of them really jive with the note of the space.
You are so on point with everything you just said, because I think that's what people are looking for, that comfortability, right? We want to have like a couple of noodle vending machine in there. So if you want like noodles and a beer, grab it. Beer and a shot.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's going to be like an Amaro vending machine that we're going to curate in that room, where you just want to, Fernet, press the button, come down, grab a shot. You don't have to wait for anyone to get it for you, right? So these are all the ideas that we have. So hopefully in the next few months, we're able to share that with the world.
It's so funny that we spent like 10 years building these very serious like bar temples that you have to go and kind of like be quiet and just sort of like worship at, so that once we got it into people's heads that this was a serious craft that they should pay attention to, it's like, oh, thank God, now we can finally build a space that I want to hang out in.
Yes, I definitely agree. I think people are really excited for that, especially all of our guests here. They're like, when is it going to open? We really want to go. And then, they're just excited for just a good cocktail at an affordable price. And I think that's what we're gearing for.
I'm hell yeah. I don't have anything to add except just a nice juicy thumbs up to that.
Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned a navel grog and a Mai Tai, which of course piqued my interest. Walk me through some of the other greatest hits that are on the Strongwater menu here. What's really landed?
Our menu is a little over or almost 40 cocktails, really ambitious for a tiki bar program to have this many cocktails. Yes. We pay homage to Don Beach's, classics, but we also have our originals, our tropical takes on what people would really enjoy. Like, for example, the pina colada. We don't have a pina colada on the menu. However, we have a pineapple Dole Whip, basically colada, right? Which has pineapple rum, coconut rum. We do a Dole Whip syrup in-house, fresh juices, that always elevates it, right? It's not your canned Dole pineapple that is typically sweeter than your fresh, and it makes a huge difference in the cocktail. Us being so close to Disneyland, that is such a popular cocktail, right? Because Dole is really popular over there. Our Zombie King, zombies in general are really popular at tiki bars, period. So that one is really great. A blend of 4 different rums. It's really strong, but this one's really boozy and molassesy on the end. It's kind of cocktail that changes with time. Our Buzzing Jungle Bird, which is our take on your classic Jungle Bird, and we do a sous vide, like a medium roast coffee infusion into Campari, which mellows out the Campari a little bit, especially for those that think it's just a little too bitter. And it really is such a complex, beautiful cocktail. So we have a lot of fun drinks on our menu. We are rum driven, but we also do have cocktails that celebrate other spirits. We have vodka cocktail, bourbon cocktails, gin as well, especially for those who are like, I don't like rum. Can you get me something else on the menu? So we want to make sure everyone feels comfortable.
And speaking of rum, I wasn't even aware that this is a thing that was allowed to happen. And if it's not, it'll stay between us. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But you all make your own rum too. So tell me about that. First of all, how you even went about having this idea, and then kind of the execution and how it turned out.
So a lot of different variables for that, for sure. We have been friends with Ed Hamilton for a couple of years now. When we were doing our Mahalo Mondays, he was one of our sponsors for the event. So every menu was completely different every single time, right? These 6 cocktails. But Ed's product was so consistent that we thought, man, we really love this. And a lot of our program, we do use a lot of his product. We thought, we're just going to make our own. Can we just blend our own, Ed? And he's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. So we have a rum that we did with him called the Lost Voyage, which is a blend of Jamaican and Guyanese. It's at 90 proof. What we wanted to do was make it approachable for bar community to make cocktails and have the bottle price really affordable. I wasn't looking for a high-end sipping rum for strong water. That's not what we're about. So we're using so much of his product. We're like, let's just blend our own. We don't sell it here. We don't have that license to do that. However, if anybody wants it, they can ask for it for their program. But we do have cocktails on our menu with this on it, and we share the recipes online. So it's a really fun process. We kind of were like tinkering and mixing and trying to figure out proofs and what we were kind of looking for. And we landed with this guy.
I love the idea that it's kind of designed to be a very useful rum.
Yes.
Something that can really put on a lot of different hats if called.
Absolutely. And it's won so many awards, like LA Spirit Awards and all that fun stuff. Like it won Rum of the Year last year.
What?
Ed is so excited about
congratulations.
that. Yeah, thanks. We're excited for that too. But it's really approachable. I think bottle price is like anywhere between $26 to $29. So easy for the home bar. And we have the recipes listed online. So people are oftentimes making them at home.
Wait, like... making the cocktails. I thought you said I was thinking you were making the rum.
No. That would be fun.
First build an illegal still in your backyard.
No.
Speaking of wearing different hats and kind of the characters that, we've talked about that kind of inhabit this space, there are a lot of paintings in this room that echo. I'm realizing now that there is a tiki mug in that painting over there. That is this tiki mug on the table over here. So tell us kind of the story behind this.
Yeah, we like a lot of stories throughout our space. This mug was a mug that we did with Kevin Kidney and Jody. They are former Imagineers of Disneyland, and they have been friends with us for many years. So we were trying to do a collab mug with them for a while, and it came to fruition the past couple. But the painting that you see behind me is Admiral Horatio Nelson basically drinking out of his own pickled head. And when people realize that, they're like, oh, this is really cool.
That's pretty badass.
It's really fun. So it's a beautiful piece that we had commissioned by Trevor Foster. He is a mug maker in Thailand, and he did such an incredible job.
It's an incredibly detailed thing. I'm looking at it now from a different angle than I was before, and I'm seeing all sorts of different, including this. What is this, a demon up here? What is that?
It is a little monkey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they call it like oftentimes like sucking the monkey. I know that sounds really weird, but they would steal rum from the captain's den in the middle of the night. So this is kind of like a moniker that pays homage to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's I'm going to try and
Yeah.
find a way to work that into
Yeah.
conversation later on today and confuse a lot of people. I'm really excited.
I know. We had a cocktail on the menu that was called Sucking the Monkey, and it was like this coconut-based, like fresh young coconut cocktail. And every time people order it, they're like, "Can we get the Sucking the Monkey?" I'm like, "You can say it. There's nothing bad about it." And then we go into that story, and then they're like, "Oh, okay." They feel a little more comfortable. So, yeah, the painting right behind me is our serpents, or dual serpents, which is. This is a communal cocktail that we have that we set on fire here. It's a Mexican rum based communal cocktail, but we commissioned someone to do a painting for us and add the little serpents on the left and the right hand side and add the strong water flags throughout. So it kind of looks like it belongs. So if you look at that painting, it didn't have any of the serpents there or the flags. It was just the two ships.
What about the roiling seas? Were those there, or those an
Those,
add-on as
those
well?
were there. Those were there already.
I mean, the serpents fit into it so well. It looks like it was just kind of, it was a kaiju painting to begin with.
Yes. And all these paintings we found on OfferUp and or Facebook Marketplace with the frames. Yeah, I know. It's wild. But we haven't done anything with this one yet.
Emphasis on yet, I guess.
Yeah, yes, we will. There's a story with everything. There's another one over on the other side is called the King Mai, which is like Tibetan for abominable snowman. And you'll see him. He's huge. He's walking through the snow and he just looks like he fits, which is a mug that we're releasing really soon. So
I know. I saw the Yeti mug.
Yeah. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Well, thank you so much for bringing me into your space and for taking the time to chat with me. And I'm really excited to come back and have a drink here. And I'm excited for Double Luck to open too.
Yes, we are too. Hopefully, city willing, we'll be open really soon.
I'm crossing fingers and toes for you.
Thank you.
All right. If it's not open by the time I come back, I'll write a strongly worded letter to the city of Anaheim. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
Thank you.
People wanted to follow along with your exploits. Where can they catch you online?
Oh yeah. You can follow us at Strongwater Anaheim on Instagram and or Facebook, and then my personal IG is Hospitality Orchestrator.
Well, thank you a ton for bringing me in here. Thank you for showing me this beautiful space and all of your just the everything of it all.
It's a pleasure to have
remarkable.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Speakeasy. Be sure to check out our feed for plenty more great episodes and boomerangs like this one. Be sure to like and subscribe. I know it's annoying, but it really does help to hit that little like button that's right down there. So go ahead and do it, and we will catch you next time. Until then, cheers.
So you don't charm the devil with your rock and roll load. Knows that country music's gonna save your soul. The devil runs his groove in them rhythm and blues that send. It's gonna get